Alright then, hello everyone, Matt aka Rainer Knox, depending on where you know me from, here with Rob, and we're gonna be doing another Darkfire Vanna run because, well, it's tough, it's fun, gives good rewards, why not?
Oh
For those of you who don't know, Darkfire Vanna is basically, it's a Shadow Lair run in Spiral Knights. Shadow Lairs cost you a Shadow Key to enter, which is around 130k right now. So it's not cheap, it's definitely not free by any means. But you can actually find Radiant Crystals, which, at the moment, because they haven't fixed it yet, don't really drop anywhere else, other than maybe you'll get 3 to 9 from Vanaduke. In here, you'll get between 40 and 100, which is pretty significant. You also get a material at the end, in this case it's called the Maiden's Tier, that lets you craft gear that's exclusive to Shadow Lairs. Oh, and you'll notice that it's kind of scary. Shadow Lairs increase the difficulty. They change the layout. They make enemies more evil. Skeletons here, they cause curse. Fun stuff.
Everything. Just no. Just no.
Exactly.
No.
Get out of my life, skeletons. Why are you here? Right, so in terms of loadout, using Polaris, Blitz Needle, Biohazard, and then I just kind of tack the DVS on for turrets. The DVS doesn't actually help that much if you're not playing in solo, because its main purpose is to kite turrets. The Polaris, on the other hand, is probably the best weapon in the game at the moment. It's extremely powerful, and it lets you choose if you want to knock things back or not.
Matt, just realised I made a boo-boo. A very, very big boo-boo.
What are you using?
Neutralizer, Polaris, and a blaster. And I just...
A blaster? Oh no.
Yep, forgot to change that off.
Well, at least the Neutralizer Polaris is enough.
Yeah, at least I'm doing the damage with my...
At least you don't have 3 blasters on.
That would just... No. Just no.
Zenki has a build of 4 windmillions that all have attack speed very high. Can you imagine walking into a Vanaduke with that?
That would be... 1, very funny, but 2, very stupid. I have 3 skeletons here, and...
Dude, just kite them with Polaris. It's basically... You do that anyways, even if you have the Blitz Needle. The Blitz is useful for finishing off a single enemy. But, if there's a group of enemies, you only want to use it when they've already attacked and are all vulnerable. So, most of the time, this run's just about kiting things with Polaris, because...
Polaris is win.
Yeah, like, you don't have to knock things back, you get to decide. The reason the Polaris is the best weapon in the game, in my opinion, is because you get to change not only your positioning, but you also get to choose the enemy's positioning, which is incredibly important, because it lets you avoid so many bad situations that you wouldn't be able to without it. Let's compare it to the Volt Edge, for example, which is the argument for other best elemental weapon in the game, depending on if you use swords or guns. The reason I say the Polaris is almost always going to be better is the fact that you don't have to knock things back. So, if you're trying to kill these enemies near, like, respawn totems or something, the Volt Edge isn't gonna necessarily work out for you. Sometimes you might have to knock an enemy back into the totem, and then you'll have to wait for it to get out, right? With the Polaris, you get to choose if you want to knock it into the totem or not. Or in this skeleton's case, if we want to knock it out of their auras, we can.
One huge difference between the Volt Edge and the... well, what everyone else thinks is the best elemental weapon, the Divine Avenger, is the fact that the Volt Edge you can attack a lot faster.
Oh yeah, the Divine Avenger, in my opinion, is actually one of the worst weapons in PvE. Because it's... okay, it's slow, which is obviously going to make it instantly worse. You can't kite things very well with it. Why would you use this, right? It's better to get a bunch of minor damages on than just 1 or 2 big swings. I'm getting hit a lot because it's hard to talk and play. But the Avenger actually doesn't do that much damage either. The Volt Edge almost does as much as it, and you're attacking like 3 times every time the DA would attack twice.
Remember, I was doing about, like, when I had my Volt Edge, it had nothing special on it, and I was doing about 691 damage per hit.
Yeah, like, the Divine Avenger is not going to do much more than that, if even more at all. It might even break even. And, okay, it also has so much knockback attached to it that it screws your team over. Like, I don't let anyone who uses Divine Avenger, Caliber, or Hammer series join these free Shadow Lair runs. Because people who use those, it tends to just ruin the run for the rest of your team. Like, I've not seen a single run yet, actually, where someone's used a Divine Avenger, or a Sealed Swordline thing, a Caliber thing, or a Hammer weapon, where they don't kill a teammate. Which is really sad.
In all honesty, it's not the Cold Iron Vanquisher that you've got to worry about, it's the Leviathan Blade. The Leviathan Blade has more knockback. The Cold Iron Vanquisher has next to none.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just remember the charge attack being annoying, but maybe it's only the Leviathan? Because aren't they both the spin attack, or completely wrong?
Yeah, they both have the spin attack, but no one really uses the spin attack with them. And if they do, they're just doing it to get things out of the way, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then again, once you're gonna kill your teammates for that.
It's just like, I don't know, I'd rather not risk it. I guess the Caliber is obviously the lowest defender out of the three. Like, the Hammer and Sealed Swordline weapons are absolutely terrible. The Hammer is actually great in single player, but, well, obviously this is a solo, so...
The Hammer's really, really, really not that good.
Really?
I have...
solo?
I don't know, I still chose the Volt Edge over it in solo, because the Volt Edge is just, it's a lot more easy to control, because instead of flying about all over the place and like basically flinging yourself into fire, you're able to control the situation a little bit more. Such as like this bit that we're coming up to. With the Hammer, you're basically flinging yourself into the fire that's usually in the corner. As well as... Right, we should probably get these things to look at a certain thing.
Right, do you want to get them to look at the top then? So, okay, these turrets, for those who haven't played this run before, respawn, and the only way to take them out of commission, here, come up here so that they're facing absolute top. And then there's...
I don't have my invis for another 32 seconds. I used it to try and get up here, and
okay.
It's okay, I'm dead. You can do it.
Okay, I guess that's another way to do it. So, right, you can de-aggro turrets in two different ways, and one is far better than the other. The most beneficial way to you is that you can use invisibility once you face the turret a different way, and it'll stop attacking you for then, right? But then it won't attack you unless you walk in front of it or attack it again. So you could face it at like a wall, or in this case, we faced both of them to the top. And they're not going to hit me again in the rest of the battle unless I accidentally hit them, or walk there. The other way you can do without using the Masquerade, but it's less effective, you can just kill it, and it'll face forwards when it respawns, right? But you don't get to decide what way it's facing. It's always just going to face back to the neutral position. It's like the left one would be looking at me right now. Which makes it way less effective. You don't get to determine their position.
And also, as for pet choice for this run, definitely Masquerade.
Right, yeah, I think right now, there's almost no question that the stealth is the best ability. Like, I know I'm saying this is the best this is the best that a lot right now, but I say that because it's basically true. Their balance team hasn't done a lot to fix it. There's just no reason to use anything else as it stands, because stealth gives you a massive buff. And you're gonna face this single turret to the left.
You also have the quills that you get, which just the damage that those things put out.
Alright, yeah, the quills actually do a lot of damage. It's over 1,000. On the other hand, the only downside is that then your stealth is on cooldown, so it's like you only want to use the quills if you know you're not going to be stealthing for the next 16 seconds.
Why did this turret become aggro at me when it shouldn't have? I faced one turret away, but then the other one somehow decided to get aggro on me again.
Oh yeah.
I really need to get a Vitapod. I'm sitting on 15 health, I think, if even.
I don't know if warping next to this, yeah, it does. Okay, it activates that. It's too bad.
I think you literally just have to run through the middle. That's the only way to stop them from aggroing onto you. Like, they have like a certain radius that they'll aggro on.
I'm actually surprised that Almerian didn't break my shield. I thought it was in range. The reason I killed the skeleton there is so that I can get some hits on the Almerian.
And also your shield is probably... The reason it didn't break your shield, I think, is because they deal shadow damage as well, I think.
To be honest, I'm actually not sure. I haven't paid it. Oh, finally paid a button.
I'll look it up now, actually.
Right, there's still one more wave. This arena is actually one of the hardest parts of the run, even though it's just on floor 1. It's a very cramped spot, the totems are in annoying places, and the turrets are super annoying as well. I don't know, it seems unnecessarily difficult to be the first floor. It might even be the hardest room.
Dreadnought. They deal normal and curse.
Okay, so it's just normal damage.
Revive buff. I don't know how your shield never broke, because that shield's only got...
No, I mean, like, it didn't actually hit me there, but I thought it was going to for sure.
What's your shield got on it again? Normal, elemental max, and... No.
I think it's Shadow and Elemental max, and then normal medium or something like that? I'm pretty sure.
Something like that, because you UV'd it after... You put a third UV on it after I'd...
Yeah, he'd sold me a Shadow max, and then I attached a couple extra things. No, it had Shadow and Elemental max.
Yeah.
And then I attached normal, right.
I think there's been 3 or 4 UVs on that in total, and it's got that.
Yeah, the shield's ridiculous.
That shield just likes people.
Right, so I actually messed up, used my emergency revive, but I guess no huge harm done.
God damn these flipping things.
Right, the run's difficult. Running while talking, also difficult. I'd argue that this run is easier solo for anyone who does it, just because it lets you position every enemy exactly how you want them, and in this run that's the most important aspect. Doing it with a team is more fun, it's more difficult. You also do get better rewards.
So I got a revive, so that means I've only used 1 revive on this mission, and I also got 21 bite pod.
Not bad. Right, just gonna go in a quick little mini discussion on the usable items. Because I know everyone probably thinks, right, you have remedies, which cure you of any status effect, and then you have health capsules, which they heal you, right? Then everything else is worthless. But I disagree to an extent on that. One thing I found out recently is that you can use the barrier items when you're in the Masquerade stealth, and walk into things, and it won't count as you have attacked, so you're still in stealth. But you have a barrier circling you doing damage to nearby enemies, so if something's low, like let's say there's a Trojan, 2 hits away from dying. You stealth, you pop like a shocker freeze barrier, you just walk up next to the Trojan. It'll just stand there taking the damage,